is up? What is up? So, kind of got a few notes here. Um, the world is getting more and more insane by the day. Um, don't mind me. Just working on getting medicated here. Um, I've basically been watching and paying attention to a lot of things. And something that I have noticed, and there's things that just get disturbing, like little things that we're taught that have been instilled in us for generations upon generations upon generations that have led to where we are and what is going on, and other things that complicate and compound even just these issues. Because as I'm thinking about what I just said on a whole nother context, I even had a whole nother freaking level. But I made notes so I don't get off on tangents, and maybe I'll remember that tangent and get into it later. But, I'm going to out myself here. I am 49. I'm about to be 50 in a few months, several months. Let's be real here. Um, One of the things that I've noticed is being born in 76 is anybody that was old enough to have been in at least junior high was basically already instilled in that old world mentality. And what I mean by old world mentality is the pre-civil rights era, where they were not kinder, gentler in any way, form, or fashion. The time when racism ran rampant and very few people would stand up for what was right because most agreed with what the founding fathers founded this country upon. They founded it for mo money and racism. That's exactly what it was founded for. They didn't want to give the taxes to Britain. They wanted to keep the money. They wanted to own the slaves. They wanted to make all the profits. So they cut the middleman out. And they just took their asses direct, is what happened. And we're dealing with the repercussions of that generation not wanting to let go of what the world is. And so, sorry about that. Had to put that away. Can't have that getting spilled anywhere. You know how it is. Things are expensive these days. Wasting freaking medication's not a good thing. So, no, the whole thing is one of the other things that comes with all of that ideal is the inherent division that is there. And that division still is there because, like, one of the things that really made me think about this and just took me on the tangent to record this is the fact that I literally am watching a show, and it's a Forged in Fire episode, and it's one of these battle of the branches, different branches of the military. And you've got one of these dipshits that's basically doing what they've been taught, hating on every other branch but the one that they're in. So they're basically talking about Marines are too stupid to think. The Navy won't be comfortable unless they're surrounded by water, and they didn't see any chairs, so then the Air Force isn't going to be comfortable because they're the chair force, is what he had basically said. And, when I was in the Navy, they taught that shit to us too. The whole never again volunteer yourself. My ass rides in Navy equipment and so on and so forth. You know, it's just one of these things that they teach division even amongst our own branches of military. And then they wonder why we butt heads. There you have it. We were taught to do exactly what you wanted. And when we do what you want, you wonder why. Because we were taught to be divisive. We were taught to be hateful. And the problem is now they've got so many people that are so narcissistic. All of these bad attitudes, intentions, thoughts, they're so much more amplified because nobody gives a fuck anymore. That's why everyone is a con artist. Everyone's got a hustle. And everybody's worried about me, and gimme, 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 gimme. And it's just that whole moment. And it also comes into this whole hatred thing with the whole thing about religion. And they force that religion into you as though it's part of your identity and it's supposedly baked into your DNA because of where you're supposed to be from. And that right there is why people don't understand. This division has been going on for centuries. And this is one of those moments where it's like even another whole tangent because, you know, there's a channel that I watch where this gentleman's talking about how people like myself, the retired, the poor, just those of us that are disabled are ostracized and kicked out of society. And we're basically being secluded and sequestered. And by doing so, we have been taken away from everything that we need, everything that we're comfortable with. And this seclusion's happened before. It was the Great Depression where the frickin' homeless and the broke wound up living so far away from everybody that they couldn't get help. Or it just got so out of hand that there was just no stopping it because that was what was going to happen. And we're hitting another one of those points. And something else that's even a worse tangent is we're not the only ones that do this. And it's not the first time we've done this here in the U.S. Look at the Trail of Tears. And as a parallel of this, you've got Japan, where they've basically done this one whole thing. Let me see if I can pull this up easily out of my history. There we go, yes. The Ainu. This was the original indigenous people of Japan. And when people came over from mainland Asia, they chased these guys even further north into the Honshu province, basically. And they literally forced them out of the Honshu province and into the worst section up there in the north of Japan. It's basically, it took until the 1900s for them to admit that these people were there first and that they basically forced them out, practically eradicated them, took their lifestyle away from them because they were indigenous hunter-gatherers just like the Native Americans were here. And, I mean, this just continues to go on and on. You know, you've got the happy indigenous peoples living their lives, and these assholes come in and kick them out of where they live. Colonization has been going on, and this is why we are at odds, because this just keeps getting worse and worse and worse every generation, to the point where something's going to give. People better learn one way or another. Something's going to give. So, hope you guys enjoy life and the lessons that are coming with it.